Welcome, everybody.
Hold on. I said, hold
what?
on. I go, hold on, and you go, welcome.
We'll keep it in for the bid.
No,
hey!
Unbelievable.
It's recording.
All right, dude, let's go, I guess.
Welcome, everybody, to the Snoozers Football Podcast. I wonder if sometimes I'm too loud in the intro, but I mean, this dynamic system.
You think just in the intro,
just
not in like life in general.
Yeah, there's no, just in the podcast intro. Am I too loud? Good morning, Zachary. How are you? We're in person. Did I hit record? I'm sure I hit record.
You better check, dude.
No, I'm not going to check. No, we're in. We're in for a penny, in for a pound. I need to have more confidence in myself. I need to be the Dan Campbell of podcasts.
What did you say?
Announcers.
In for a penny and a pound?
In for a penny, in for a pound, right?
What does that mean?
That means I think it means you're putting me out live on the air right now, and it could expose me. But I think it's like, well, you know, I've already gotten this far. Might as well go full boat, you know? Like, it pretty much completely goes against the grain of, like, you know, cut your losses. And, like, what's that thing I'm trying to think about?
I have no idea what goes on in that head of yours.
No, but, like, when somebody, like, keeps, like, oh, we talk about it all the time. We're going to talk about it during draft time, too, but I don't know. Stellar start. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like when
No, I don't.
Oh my
penny,
god. No,
penny and a pound.
The penny, that's a classic. That's a classic.
You've got your little
No, hang on. No, there's a thing here. There's a thing here. Okay, go on.
All right. Well, anyways, welcome back, dude. It's been a little while since we've done
sunk cost fallacy.
Show.
That's what I'm thinking of. A sunk cost fallacy.
I hate it here.
Okay, go on.
I hate it here.
It's been a minute since we've been live in person. Our lives have been roller coasters.
Yeah.
Of doing really nothing in particular, just not being able to meet up. Yeah. And it's on the cusp of the biggest day of your life.
Yeah, that and all your astronaut training. Did you tell everybody you took a new job?
I did not tell all the astronaut training.
You're going to be on Mars soon, dude.
Congrats. More paperwork than you think.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be more.
They want to make sure you can spell your name.
It's a lot of personality tests.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, welcome back. Dude, happy to be in person. We'll probably try to do a few more remotes, but
we're gonna do remotes. We're gonna do in persons. We're gonna do everything.
Yeah.
If I'm moving to Mars,
I figured we'll start all the way back at a little recap from last weekend.
Can you do like a sound as if we're taking somebody back through a time portal? No, I can't.
I
wish I could do that sound. You know,
I don't even know what sound. I would do it if I had a sound in my head, but I do not.
I wish I could do that sound that they do in Dumb and Dumber when he's like tractor beam, suck me right up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's pretty. I'm trying. I can't whistle either though, so it's a whole issue.
What can you do?
How much baggage have I unloaded in the first 3 minutes of this podcast?
Yeah, this is we're slipping into a different category, health and wellness.
Close your eyes, everybody. We're going back in time to the beautiful Saturday.
Divisional round.
January 20th.
Yeah, so just a little recap. First game, Ravens-Texans. Not much of a game there. Texans Cinderella story comes to an end. They had a great year. They have a very, very bright future.
Incredibly bright future.
Yeah, I just think the Ravens are a load of a team. So
I mean, they held. So, like, C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Set the record.
I forgot that's a tough point for you, C.J. Stroud.
No,
is the jersey still in the mail?
The jersey will be in the mail. I'll get you one too. Don't you worry.
No, thank you.
C.J. Stroud set like the rookie record for like passing touchdowns, and the offense has been so good, right? Mm-hmm. And they did not score an offensive touchdown in this game. That only touchdown they had was a punt return.
Oh, yeah.
So that's crazy. Like, these Ravens, this defense is kind of crazy.
Well, and that's what everybody's been talking about all year with Baltimore. It's like Lamar, which Lamar has been an MVP. Yeah. He probably will win MVP, and he should. But that defense has just really rounded them out really well.
There's that stupid DVOA stat that goes back to, like, the 70s, but they say this is the best defense since 85 Bears and 2000 Ravens. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's pretty spooky.
49ers-Packers, that was a close game.
Oh, my God.
I couldn't imagine if the Packers would have won that. Holy.
Could you imagine? So another team that has a really bright future that was playing with house money all season.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of hate to see it as Lions fans.
I don't. I mean, I like it to be competitive, right? You know, like this year, I feel great we won the division, but it's kind of like, I don't know. It almost kind of feels like, I don't want to compare the two, but like when New England won their division like 12 years in a row or something, right? And there were years where their other teams were competitive, like very much so.
Yeah.
But there were also some years where like all three teams were just god awful.
Yep.
And so I mean, there's the teams in our division are just they're too good. You know, they just have too much history with Minnesota, Green Bay, and Chicago. Like
all of them.
The fan bases are not going to allow them
No.
to like be bad for a long time.
That's a really cool division. It just feels old.
Yeah.
In a good way. It feels like all about football. But the Packers showed that the 49ers are beatable, which we haven't seen.
They gave us the blueprint. So once going back to what is the movie Inside Out?
We love Inside Out.
Sacrifice.
The Bing Bong?
The Bing Bong.
Jordan loves sacrifice himself.
The Packers are Bing Bong, dude. And
that's so good.
Or the girl on the thing, they sacrificed, gave us the blueprint. So, Lions, Bucks, that was a good game.
That was a good game.
Yeah, the Buccaneers had a chance there at the end. We sealed it up.
Yes, you did. You love to see Baker.
Ford Field was rocking. They set a record, 134, I believe, decibels.
I think
so,
134, 135.
I remember when I went to, it was the Eagles game.
Yeah.
I've mentioned it a few times. The season opener, when
everybody
was excited.
Yep.
And the decibels were 114, and I thought it was like ear-shattering in there.
It must have just been deafening there.
Like, I can't imagine. So
it really upsets me. So we're pretty big into the TV broadcasts here on this podcast. We talk about how you can't see rain. We talk about all sorts of things, right? And so
the hard-hitting stuff.
They were doing, like, the other games, and the other crowd sounded, like, way louder. Like, I don't know what channel this was on, but, like, they, like, turned down the crowd noise. And I was very upset. And I was very upset about it. Yeah. Because, like, that's like, come on, dude.
I thought that, too. Like,
they're like, everybody's like, it's so loud in here. And I'm like, it doesn't sound loud at all. And, like, Baker Mayfield's, like, freaking out, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it doesn't even sound that loud.
That's my favorite thing is when they're trying to talk and you've got him on both ears.
Oh, my God. And he's just, that hits different. I just got goosebumps now. That hits different. I don't know. Because we talked about, earlier in the season, we talked about just how crazy it is.
Yeah. And then a wild Chiefs-Bills game.
I mean,
I really wanted the Bills, man. That sucks.
Wide right every time.
And Tyler Bass is a good kicker. I mean, I think he makes that 9 out of 10 times. I think he just
Tyler Ass is what everybody's saying. So bad.
They're the worst.
He's getting a lot of like bad stuff on social media. I think he went silent. I feel bad for him. I could not imagine that pit in his stomach.
People are psychos.
I mean, the Bills just keep bouncing, dude.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
So yeah, that's just your quick little recap. Would you rather talk about some points, or would you rather go into this weekend, or do you want to do this weekend later, like kind of as like a finish up, like the preview for?
Ooh.
So we could get into some like a sandwich.
Yeah. Yep.
Preview bread.
Yep. Yeah, then I like that.
Recap bread.
I like that.
Got some meat in the middle.
I like that. I need to settle down a little bit because we have big football. We only have 3 more National Football League games this year.
Yeah, that's tough.
Well, not this year, but
4 with the Pro Bowl.
What's Pro? Yeah, it's flag football. It doesn't count.
I want to go. We should go to the Pro Bowl.
We should. We're supposed to go to the draft.
We are. What do you mean supposed to?
Do you look up tickets?
Yeah, dude. It's free.
It's in Detroit. Let's go. What do you got for the meat?
All right, dude. I got some meat stuff here in the middle. So,
meat lovers.
A few. Going back to that Bills game, I've got some Bills notes in here.
Look, you got some notes.
Oh, I got notes all the time. These are the ones I don't share with you.
You got literature.
Remember our friend Stu? We had to apologize to Stu when I apologized to Dr. O'Connor and Stu. Yep. Stu had a bet with Stu's very big on Twitter with the Buffalo Bills community. Okay. He's like one of the guys. Mm-hmm. And he made a bet with a Kansas City Chiefs fan that if Kansas City won, Stu would chug a barbecue thing.
Oh, my God.
And if the Bills won, then the Chiefs fan had to chug blue cheese.
I would chug some blue cheese.
And so Stu had to chug barbecue sauce. He chose poor Stu. He made a mistake, I think. He did the open pit, which was the cheapest, he said, which is what I would do.
But that's like vinegar-based.
But he did the thick.
My God. That's like the acidity of that can like make you like sick, I feel like.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't great. So he chugged it. He's a man of his word. I
remember back in like, when you're like a little dumb shit in like middle school and you're like, like I remember like do like a spoonful of like barbecue sauce or mustard and that sucked. I could not imagine.
In college, we used to dare each other to take chugs of soy sauce.
How big of chugs?
Like a chug.
Really?
Yeah.
That's just straight dehydrate you?
Yeah, it was tough.
So he did it.
Yeah, so of
He
course.
picked a
Stu
thick
did
and
it.
chunky,
Yeah.
vinegar-based.
Stu did it. Stu's a man of his word. But yeah, it was. I watched the video of it, and he was struggling.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Like a whole bottle?
Yes. So
Like 20
I didn't
ounces.
get to the end of the video. I couldn't because it was like
You just
grossing me
couldn't?
out.
Oh, yeah. Like the Foley, like the noises.
So
of it.
I don't know if he finished it or not, to be honest. I watched the beginning part, and in my head, I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's disgusting. Like, but I mean, he at least took a stab at it. And then I got to see if I can find this, but we'll talk a little Josh Allen real quick.
We will talk Josh.
So Josh Allen is going from getting paid $17 million this year to $47 million.
Yeah.
So
Cap
like
hit gets hard. Like this was. You don't want to say this was their window because I mean they're still a talented, well-ran team and they still have Josh Allen.
but it feels like it was.
It
like,
really feels like it. Yeah. It goes up.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that they keep him around. I like Josh Allen, man. I think he gets kind of a bad rap, but I think he can do it. I can't figure out Buffalo's problem.
I know.
And it really does it.
As
You can hear in my voice, it's like it's puzzling.
Is it injuries on defense?
I think that definitely.
It's like you spin a wheel and come up with like an excuse, but it doesn't quite like work.
Correct. Yeah.
Like
there's something there that we're missing. That I don't.
It's like okay, yeah, they're injured on they got a lot of defensive starters out, but then sometimes there's still just those boneheaded decisions. Like at the end of the game, like they could have moved down the field a little bit more. Like, did you see that he missed Stephon Diggs on that huge cross over the middle? Could it maybe even been a touchdown?
Yeah.
And instead he stares down and goes for a deep shot into the end zone to Khalil Shakir.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just weird.
I think him and Jalen Hurts are similar in the fact that they are both great quarterbacks. There's no question about it. I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. Arm talent-wise, I think Josh Allen has a little more arm talent.
100%.
But I think that, and boy, it's a gift and a curse, man, in any sport. I think they're sometimes like a little too confident in their ability to make a play.
Yep.
Right? So it was like Jared Goff, when we were playing against the Rams, he tried to like throw that pass when he was getting sacked.
Yeah.
And it like went backwards. It's like, dude, just take the sack.
Yep.
And so I think sometimes Josh and Jalen, respectively, like there's times when they do make those plays, like amazing Sports Center top 10, number one plays where they break 3 tackles, launch the ball downfield for a touchdown. But the problem is that when that happens,
sometimes they'll pass up just what the defense gives you.
yeah,
You know?
and it's comparable to like I don't think you're like a big basketball guy,
No.
but when a non
actually outwardly anti-basketball.
so like it's like when a non 3-point shooter makes a 3. And you're like, okay, perfect. Because now he's going to start launching these, and he's going to make that first one, and he's going to go 1 for 8, and we're good. But it's like, it's
God.
You know what I mean?
A little bit of false confidence, yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
And I think that's a perfect phrase for false confidence. But these guys are so good, man. Maybe sometimes like even a coordinator might help. Like you've been super critical of Brian Johnson.
Yep. He gone.
And the Bills, fired Ken Dorsey.
Holy cow! You bailed us. I'll edit out the silence.
No, leave it in there.
You bailed us out.
My brain kept going.
That's gonna be so funny. It's gonna look like it was buffering because we're both like.
Yeah, my brain kept going. Kellen Moore, but it wasn't Kellen Moore.
Nope.
Ken Dorsey. They fired Ken Dorsey and they went on a run.
Yeah.
Like they got better. They won a bunch of games. So
which also apology to everybody because I remember when that first came out. We're like,
we buried him.
We're like, that's not the issue.
Yeah, moment of silence, dude.
Whoops. Moment of silence for our stupid takes.
So I think you put somebody like a Ben Johnson or somebody that's a really good coordinator in there that could maybe put Josh in like a position to win, which they did. They won, so it's tough. I really, it's going to be it's going to be harder for them to do that because you're adding $30 million. You're taking a $30 million.
That's
cap,
crazy.
Which is
That's crazy.
A really good player.
And they're not the best drafters.
Yes and no. I mean,
I feel like they're middle of the league.
I want to talk about that too.
You want to talk about the draft?
Well, the 4 teams that are left,
Yeah.
But we can include Buffalo in this. But you look at the way that these teams are structured, right? And even we'll go back to the last round as well, where we talk about the Packers and we talk about the Texans and we talk about the Lions. These teams have built themselves through the draft, and they look like they're going to be good for years to come. We talked about San Francisco earlier in the pod months ago about hey. They're kind of got to do it now because eventually you're going to have to pay all these guys. Yep. It's kind of how Buffalo is, right?
100%. I think Buffalo even more so. At least they got Purdy on that little baby contract for another year or two.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you've got to pay Josh Allen. You've got to pay Stephon Diggs.
Do you have to pay Stephon Diggs? That's a whole nother offseason topic.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's a good point. But – man, I liked him a lot, and I think he has a lot of potential too. I think something's going on there as well.
Maybe injury, who knows?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just
feel like this season's had a lot more vague injuries.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts couldn't walk for the second half of the season, but it was on no reports. Stephon Diggs literally disappeared the second half of the season,
and it's kind of some of that false confidence we're talking about of medical medicine of it will be good, dude.
Yeah.
Modern
medicine's incredible. Just hit him with a shot, slap him on the ass, and send him back out there.
Yeah. Have you heard the Korean broadcast call of Tyler Bass?
Of the wide right, yes.
You did?
Yes. Foreign.
I love that.
Foreign sports calls are so good. Mexico usually has really good ones.
It?
You play it.
It's it's just great.
The perfectly harmonized. It almost sounds rehearsed.
I know it's so great.
Two guys, and it's it hits that perfect harmony.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's so good.
Yeah, I saw that. And I'm like, oh, dude, he's gonna love that.
We're blessed with football, bro.
Yeah. I mean, so kind of getting more into meat and potatoes of this stuff, but talking about the future of these teams, right? And I know we keep hitting on it. This is kind of, I feel like we kind of had to do a 50-50, some off-season stuff because we just don't have that many headlines with only 4 teams left, right? So, so I think, out of the teams left, Colin Cowherd was quoted earlier saying Detroit hit 6 home runs. Talking about their draft.
Brad Holmes, what he's doing is amazing.
And he's probably going to get general manager of the year, no doubt. It's basically a done deal, right?
He should.
And he was talking about 6 home runs, not doubles, not guys. Yeah. He's talking about all pro.
I mean, so you got
players.
Laporta, who set the reception record for tight ends.
Let's try to name them here.
Here, ready? So here, I got 3 right off the rip, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah.
So obviously we have 6 home runs this season. Or in the last 2?
No, in just general.
Just in general? Okay.
Yeah, since Holmes has been.
So obviously Hutch. Yeah. Hutch, I mean, thank God that the Jags went for Trayvon Walker, who finally started doing something this year. So obviously Hutch. Jahmyr Gibbs, everybody clowned on him for, and they're utilizing him really, really well, right? Obviously we also have Laporta, who I just mentioned, that did the tight end rookie reception record and looks like a stud and is playing through anything.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I don't know if I'd throw this out there because I don't know too many plays.
Yeah.
But you were Nostradamus.
Yeah.
And I mean, Brian Branch, I feel has been an emerging.
He's one of the 6.
I mean, so you have to think he did a pick 6 on the Chiefs that are 1 game away from the Super Bowl again to start the season. So
basically won us that game.
Yeah.
I mean,
and who else would you?
So you got the 6 that I think he's talking about, right? The 2 from this year, 3 from this year, Gibbs, Laporta, Branch, and then you've got Hutch, Sewell.
Oh yeah,
Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
And so
Amon-Ra's because
those are all his guys, right?
Yep.
So like you have these guys that
that's a core. That's a strong core.
When he talks about like home runs, like dude, those are all pro players, like already.
Yep.
St. Brown and Panay Sewell are all pro. The other guys will get there. And like so Porta, like I've already seen like they're comparing him like I could argue he's the best tight end in the league right now.
Really good.
You know?
He's really good.
So
he's really good.
He's good. Hutch is the same way. Like I can argue Hutch is one of the best pass rushers, getting pressures, getting sacks. Brian Branch is maybe a little bit tougher, but boy, he looks like he has a really bright
it's
future.
really hard to be a starting positionless player, but I think he's mostly been doing safety, right?
Yep.
It's really hard to do that.
He plays nickel, and he plays nickel more than anything.
Okay.
So you used a word there.
Positionless.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
And I have that in my notes of like, do you think the Lions are ahead of their time by playing positionless football? Because that's what we are. The NBA moved to that probably, 10 years ago.
Yep.
Where like point guards stopped being point guards. I think kind of like LeBron, right? LeBron kind of moved us into that era of like, dude, I'm bigger than everybody, but I'm still going to handle the ball and like be the point guard. Point guard, right? And I think like football's getting there, right? On offense, it's super tough because like you have to have like you have guys like Gibbs, you have guys like Christian McCaffrey, like running backs that can play wide receiver, right? But that's really like the only.
I would not even say that, right? So there was so I won't even say that. So like coming from watching the Eagles offense this season, it was like watching me 6 beers deep play Madden. They just kept running 3 plays because like that works, So okay, we'll get them on the next one. And it's just like I could predict everything that was coming. So then I watched the Lions, and it's like they're a bit more fluid. Yeah. And I think that even outside of those position players, like Gibbs, okay, like CMC, he's a receiving back, blah, blah, blah. But even the way that, and I get off on like trench play and like line play, right?
Yeah.
And there's that play that I want to talk about when you brought up Sewell.
Yeah.
But like they even use him in wacky ways. Like they play design. So he's probably one of the best left tackles in the game. But so there was that play when he did like a Jason Kelsey move that is usually reserved for the center. And I know Ragnar was beat up. Yeah. But like Sewell, like as opposed to, jump up to block, he shoots off to his left like the fastest I've ever seen. Yeah. And he gets a critical block in order to get like a first down. And I'm like, the Eagles never would have fucking done that. Like they use everybody in like really creative ways.
So there's a good point, and I want to say it was A.Q. Shipley. I could not think of A.Q. Shipley's last podcast. I can't remember his name. He's the guy. He's won Super Bowls. He's an offensive lineman that's on Pat McAfee's show all the time.
Yep.
A.Q.'s like a like. I mean, I don't know if he's like a Pro Bowler or not, but he's been in the league for a long time. Offensive lineman. And he does this thing, I think every Wednesday or something, where they like break down offensive line play for the NFL. And they highlighted that Panay Sewell play.
Yeah.
And what it was like a stretch play to the left.
Yep.
But Panay pulled all the way from the right tackle, which is wild.
Yeah,
And the thing that AQ, like, it blew his mind, and he was like, Panay Sewell is one of the best offensive tackles. And it was because of this reason. When Panay pulled and went to the left, the end on the play side, he kind of was like freed up. And AQ said that 99% of those tackles would just blow him out of the water, like because he's just a sitting duck.
Yep.
But what Panay did was he ran at him and Euro stepped him basically, and that made that defensive end get flat-footed. And it wasn't A.Q. Shipley; it was with the brothers, dude. That was a DN for the Eagles for a long time. Chris Long.
Oh yeah,
it was Chris Long. 100% Chris Long now because I'm thinking because he was a DN.
Yeah.
So
love Chris Long.
Yep, Chris Long says, as a DN, once your feet stop, you're dead in the water, right, on these plays that are outside. So he said that Panay Sewell kind of like acted like he was going to hit this DN, so the DN kind of like braced.
Yep.
His feet died.
Yep. And then
And then Panay went past him and just absolutely crushed the
as a
corner.
tackle. That's fucking crazy.
Like, he's like 99% of people would have just absolutely killed that DN because the DN didn't know what was coming.
Yep.
Right.
But instead, he neutralized him on the play entirely, and
then Gibbs was already outside of him. So
Yep.
like once his feet die, then you're dead. Like so
then
Gibbs
still
just
make
ran
another
right by
play.
him, and he went and blocked.
Crazy.
Yeah.
See, it's like that. It's that kind of stuff, you know.
Like he's like 1% of offensive linemen will make
Yeah.
that play, and Panay Sewell is one of them. And
They're gonna have to get
that
him.
would have been a 70-yard touchdown if he didn't get tackled by the shoestrings.
Yep.
Like, and
So it's that kind of stuff, you
to
know.
that point, 49ers are very, very vulnerable outside the tackles.
They are.
And the Lions run the ball. We talked about
I'm
this.
getting goosebumps.
Yeah,
We just got
last show that the Lions are one of the best teams, I think, per yardage. I think the best team running outside the tackles. So like stretch plays and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I think if
me and Madden.
and Aaron Jones was super successful.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones was super successful, and the Packers played well, but I think like our offensive line and Jahmyr Gibbs is a little more explosive than Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is a great running back, but like you get Gibbs on the outside, dude.
They're beatable. They're one of the worst teams defending against the run. Oh my God, we're so back.
Dude, I'm excited, dude. It'll be a good game. What else do I have for us? There was going into that Lions 49ers game, and we won't get too much, kind of keep this because we want to keep the preview, right? There was a segment where are the Lions as good as the 49ers position for position?
No.
I agree. So I think it was a little outlandish. There was some folks that were comparing them, but I just thought we would go through and kind of talk about that. Like, just go through and compare them quickly. I think the graphic that I saw was a little off. I think the 49ers position to position are probably better.
They are. But if you actually think about it, it's not as far apart as it seems, right? Mm-hmm. It's not as far apart as it seems.
I agree. Like, on this, they had Purdy over Goff. I don't necessarily agree with that.
I'd put that at a wash, especially from his last game.
I'm comfortable putting Goff ahead of him, right? With
Homer style.
Well, but even then, like, given the conditions, but like I don't think Purdy looked great last game.
No,
against he was overthrowing, underthrowing. It was raining. It was downpouring.
It was like
I give him the benefit of the doubt. I think Purdy's a good quarterback. I think people don't give him enough credit.
But he looked rattled.
He did. So
yeah, I give
the
him
same as Jared Goff when he gets a little pressure on him. Absolutely, I think Christian McCaffrey's better than our running backs. I think our running backs are good. Mm-hmm. This is the next tough one. Is do you take Amon-Ra or do you take Debo and Brandon Ayuk? And like
they have
the 49ers in this one, and I think like.
You have to simply – so there's an argument. So Amon-Ra over Ayuk. Done, right?
Yeah.
I think Debo over Amon-Ra.
I don't.
Really?
No. 0% of me thinks that.
So, but you just put up two players. So this is what, like, you have to put
the group
Debo and Ayuk over Amon-Ra because they don't really have another.
Correct.
That's like a fantasy football trade where you'd be like, fuck you. Like, I'm not giving up these two players for Amon-Ra.
And I think that's what it is. I think Amon-Ra is better than both of them individually, but as a package, you'd have to throw in like Josh Reynolds or Jamison Williams.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then the net. It gives the edge to the Niners.
Yeah. Speaking of positionless players, I think Debo's like one of the few wide receivers where they just like put him anywhere kind of thing.
Yep.
Tight ends, I think, are a wash. Like they had George Kittle over Laporta.
Man, I would probably put Laporta over Kittle.
And I don't think you're wrong. I don't think there's a wrong answer. Like I can argue that Kittle's better than he is. Blocking, catching, things like that. I can argue Laporta's better than Kittle. But that's why I think like it's just a wash.
I think there's a little bit of bias. I think there's a little bit of historical bias because it's like Kittle. You know, like he was always a top 3 tight end.
Yeah.
Last year he fell off hard. I think due to injuries. But yeah, I don't know. It's either Laporta gets the edge or it's close or it's a wash.
Yeah, I agree.
It's close though.
And then offensive line, I think the Lions have a better offensive line. I think Trent Williams and Panay Sewell wash each other out, and then when you look at the rest of the positions, I think the Lions are better.
Yeah.
Edge rusher, I mean, like Bosa's one of the greatest. You know.
Yeah, he's really good.
But I think Hutch is right there on his ass.
Yeah.
Like, he's on his tail, dude.
It's a lot.
Hutch is real, like, they're very comparable.
They're just going to get you in the secondary.
Yep, they're for sure better in the secondary. They're better linebackers. Fred Warner is one of my favorite players in the NFL. I absolutely love him. He didn't play great last game, but
Let's hope he keeps it up.
I have a lot of favorite players that are on the 49ers.
I hate the 49ers.
Because I really like George Kittle, too. I wouldn't say he's like a favorite player, but like the off-field
I went to
personality.
I went to high school with a guy who is identical to George Kittle.
Really?
Absolutely identical.
Really?
Yeah, it's actual like doppelganger. I'll have to find a picture.
Man.
Evan McGovern.
I really like George Kittle. Christian McCaffrey is my favorite player in the NFL. Like
No, it's so hard tough. Because he's on the 49ers, and I want them to burn.
Yeah. So let's find out, I suppose. So we got some time left here. I think we could do.
Come on, let's talk about the games real quick.
You want to talk games? I was going to do coaching carousel.
No, that's a whole episode.
You want to wait?
That is a whole episode.
You want to wait?
Yes, because I have so many.
I got one more thing before we get into the games.
Okay.
Do you know who Kayshon Butte is?
I do know who Kayshon Butte is because I was pretty high on him on the draft. It's so funny.
Did you bet on him?
I did not bet on him. So 8,900 sports bets.
Yeah. So he was he's not in the NFL, right?
No, he fell. He was in this. He was like a 6th-round pick, but I don't think he has any playing time.
Yeah, I don't know where.
But he was projected 1st or 2nd round until I think he had like a bowl game, and he did not show up at all. And that's the one that he bet on himself to have over 82.5 receiving yards and a touchdown.
He had
like 2 catches for 20 yards.
I love that he put a bet in on himself.
Well, and so he's he's not 21. He's underaged.
Yeah.
So he had to start it in like his mom's name.
Yeah.
But the username was like Kayshon Booty like 1.
That was one of them. He had 2. He had Kayshon Booty 7 and Kayshon Booty 01.
It says bulletproof defense. Come on, bro. Come on.
That's crazy. So this is while he was so people that don't know who we're talking about, he was an LSU wide receiver, like a standout.
Yep.
He definitely had his own issues while he was there. A lot of controversy and stuff. Well, it came out a couple weeks ago that while in just 1 year he placed 8,900 sports bets, which equated to. The math was mathing.
Yeah, I mean, so just take 365. That's 24 sports bets a day.
Yeah, one every hour. Yep. Is what it said. So, yeah, 24 sports bets, and then the funniest part was he did have himself in one of his parlays to open the season against Florida State for 80 yards and a touchdown.
Yep.
Put himself in the parlay and did not. He lost the parlay for himself.
Yeah. So good, so good. Man,
story writes itself.
That's was every season like filled with such ludicrous stories, or is it just like we started this and it's like they're just throwing us softballs, bro? That's the funniest thing.
Yeah, well, that's that we find the obscure.
We do.
We are ESPN the Ocho.
We are ESPN the Ocho, 100%.
Would you watch ESPN the Ocho if it was a real thing?
Yes, I would, 100%.
I know, 100%. Lawnmower racing.
Yes, everything. Those Red Bull like go-kart racing. Where they like build their own thing and they just send it down a hill and they fall apart.
Yeah,
I'd be on there.
Dude, I'd be in a heartbeat. I'd smoke you in a.
There's no question.
In a race,
pretty much anything involving physical movement, you would smoke me in. I don't think there's anything I could put myself above you on.
I love that. All right, dude. I guess let's talk about these games, man.
So we'll first talk about. So I think a really good metric that we discussed.
Yeah.
Was when we're talking about outcomes of games. It's like, who do you feel more stupid betting on or against the day after? So remember, we're like, hey, it's like for Texans versus Browns. It's like, are you going to bet on the 38-year-old Joe Flacco? Or are you going to bet on the hottest rookie quarterback, right? So here, what do you feel more stupid, like betting against Mahomes, like just always wins, or betting against like the best defense since the 1985 Bears?
I think
like you put the fucking house on the Ravens and you lose, and you'd be like, well, of course it's fucking Mahomes.
Yeah,
like, why would I bet against Mahomes?
I don't know, man. I don't think I feel that way. I think like the lines are pretty big. San Francisco's 7, Baltimore's 4.
Yeah.
So
3.5 at home, so it pretty much makes it like a 1.5 though. Like that's pretty.
Yeah. Man, it is.
It's really Ravens Chiefs is just a gut check.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun game. I think we have like 4 fun teams.
We got scrappy.
And to be honest, like I don't hate the Chiefs, but I just hope somebody wins besides the Chiefs. Like if it's not us, I hope it's the Niners or the Ravens.
I think I hate the Chiefs.
I think I'm getting there.
But are they the like least hyped defending Super Bowl champions to be in the conference game ever?
They're
like nobody's talking about them, right?
They are the Patriots, bro.
They are the Patriots.
That's literally what they are.
We have like Chiefs fatigue. It's like here we go. Like
it's the same thing. They are literally the Patriots of like, hey, the Patriots are there, and it's like, yeah, they don't have any talent. They're definitely not going to make it. And then here we are talking about them in the Final Four.
Yep.
And it's like, well, it's hard to bet against them. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, name me 5 of their players.
Yep.
You couldn't do it.
I could, but and
Taylor Swift is not one of them.
Joe Tooney. I always mess up names.
Yeah.
He's out. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That's big. Talk about
big.
trench play. Talk about communication. Talk about rotation, bro.
Yeah.
Who are you taking?
I mean, it's hard not to take Baltimore, dude. I mean, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be the person that, like, until Baltimore proves me wrong. Like, I mean, we've been talking about it for weeks.
Yep.
Weeks and weeks and weeks since the Ravens blasted the Lions. I have to take the Ravens. And I kind of feel the same way about San Francisco.
Don't even.
Are
you a spiritual person?
Yeah.
It's the year of the Harbaugh.
Okay.
Right? Like the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl,
I'm
right?
no longer spiritual.
Like the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl,
That would be a wild thing, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. There would be so many people that would it'd be the worst year of their life.
It would.
Because, like, I think it's more Jim that people absolutely hate than John. I don't think anybody really hates John Harbaugh.
No. He's older. Do you know he's older? He looks younger. He's the older brother.
I did know that.
That's a little messed up.
Yeah. But, yeah, it was.
The tinfoil hat scriptwriter crowd's going to go crazy if the Ravens win.
Well, there was the Har Bowl, dude. I mean, that was a wild scenario.
Yeah. What was that, 10, 11 years ago?
I think longer than that.
Really?
Yeah.
The Har Bowl? Yeah, see? Then it just comes full circle.
Yeah. I think, regardless, I think Baltimore at home. Right. I think
so who do you want? Who do you think's going to win?
That's huge. I would like Baltimore to win, and I think Baltimore's going to win.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I just like to see somebody different, man. I think Lamar needs his flowers, which I think he's going to get.
But again, like we put the house on it. There's a very real world where we're texting each other at 4:30 on Sunday, and we're like, fucking Mahomes is doing a stupid little scramble thing, finding fucking Kelsey on 3rd and 10 over the middle.
Yeah. I think, we talked about it episodes ago where the Chiefs have got down to such the bare bones where I think
I might be a wide receiver on the Chiefs.
I think Rashee Rice has really stepped up for them. But man, this
Tony's out, which is a net positive.
This is one of those that maybe we should have paid Tyreek. It's just I think Baltimore has too many weapons. The Chiefs' defense has played well, but I
think Ravens' offense has played better, and Ravens' defense. Give me the Ravens. I want Ravens. I now think Ravens. You sold me.
Yeah.
You talked enough crap about Mahomes' supporting cast to push me over the moon.
Yeah, dude. It's just tough for me to pick them. I'm going Baltimore. I'd like Baltimore to win. The nightcap.
The big one.
Yep.
Also, bless that I like the 3 and the 6:30 kickoffs.
Yeah.
Those are fair.
Yeah.
So we can actually go to bed at a reasonable time.
No, I like staying up all night. What if this goes into 10 overtimes?
Then I guess we'll cover that when it comes.
How does that work? If the first overtime,
there's some sort of obscure rule to where they probably go like full like college offense.
Where they
because there can be a tie
where they combined both teams and both teams go to the Super Bowl.
Shut the fuck up.
The San Francisco
most
Detroit
desperate Lions fan
49ers.
trying to get half of a Super Bowl ring just cut down the middle.
Yeah, buddy.
So, Are you a spiritual person?
As of 5 minutes ago, no.
So the logical part of me,
Yeah.
the right brain part of me,
Yeah.
is like, you got to go 49ers, right?
Yeah.
But, so this is crazy. So I have a wife, flex, but I have a wife.
Yeah,
So we have these boxes. So we moved into our first house like 10 years ago, and we have all these boxes that like her parents suddenly like off shoved, and we just shoved in the basement, right?
Yeah.
And she has a whole bunch of Barbie boxes. And I used to play with these Barbies, but they're like we did not open them at all. They could be infested with rats or something like that.
They could
right?
be worth millions of dollars.
I know, right? So then they're literally in the basement of the old house, and then 2 years ago we moved to a new house. So I'm like, we're moving these fucking Barbie boxes again. So we have 2 daughters.
Yeah.
We have 2 daughters. They're 6 and 4, but they've not been old enough to play with Barbies because they just weren't interested. Like
right.
they're more interested in like the little people, like the
Yeah.
chunkier ones, right? As opposed to all the accessories, they don't have the articulation in their little fingers to like put like the shoes and stuff on. Like there's a lot of small
They
pieces.
just chew
right?
on them.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And like, well, Hayden's not there yet, but Eliza won't chew on them. And Hayden's crazy, you know. But so literally, it was 2 days ago, and Katie's like, we're finally going to open up the Barbies. We're finally going to open up the Barbies.
Yeah.
So then she gets the box. We dig. These boxes have been following me around for like 11 years. And then we open up the first box, and on top is the tiniest little Detroit Lions helmet.
Why?
Because they're going to win the Super Bowl. Look at that. What stories has this little guy seen?
But that was just in the Barbie box?
Yes.
On the Barbie box.
On the Barbie. Like inside, on top of the Barbie box.
Inside.
The Barbie box.
Okay.
It's the old logo.
Yeah.
Like, how many stories has he seen? The Lions are winning the Super Bowl.
He's had to hang out with Barbies for so long.
There's no...
That's like the old Hutchinson
That's
story.
a sign.
That's a Hutchinson
That's
story.
literally a sign that these boxes have been following me around for 12 years, and I opened it 2 days before the Lions' first
I'm hoping
conference game, and boom.
Yeah. Joe, Adam, and I already decided we're going to the parade if they win the Super
We're
Bowl.
all going to the parade. We're going to burn that city to the ground.
Yeah.
So now, how do you feel about that? Does that push it into the Lions' favor for you?
No. No, it doesn't.
You're not a spiritual person.
I mean, I love science, dude. I love science, right? But there's these little knickknacks. I mean, I've got a gazillion of them. So quick story. And my mom and dad both watch on YouTube, watch this podcast.
We love the Watts family. We love the Watts family.
I used to make my dad and even my mom buy me these little helmets.
Yeah.
Dude, I've got so many of those, like,
I
in the
you're
quarter
kind of the
machine.
helmet guy. Oh, yes.
Yeah, like I'm grabbing him. My
Yep.
dad, like, give me a couple quarters. Let's see what
Yep.
teams we get. So I've got these helmets.
Yeah.
I've got, so there's like, so if you know, there's like these ones where you had to put the face masks on. These are old school. Mm-hmm. Then they came out with like a better, like stronger helmet.
Are you an expert on tiny helmets?
100%. These gumball helmets, dead ass. So they came out with like a stronger ones where they were like everything was like hard plastic, like the helmet and everything.
Yeah.
I'll have to show you. But I have like every team of those.
We have a long off season.
We'll
review them.
There was a phase of they had porcelain cups, like these little porcelain cups. I have all the NHL teams. I have all the NFL teams. Like, dude, I've got all these knickknacks, dude. So I mean, I could go down in the box and find. I have all 4 teams.
But I have no knickknacks like that, and we find it. That means Brock Purdy's going to blow out his arm in the first quarter.
I don't want that, though. I want him playing
Oh,
the
you
whole
want
time.
it.
I want him playing the whole time.
I'm really nervous for this game.
I am.
Because I really feel like Debo and Ayuk and Kittle are just going to run all over the fucking middle and just do their yard after catch bullshit. But I think, so I'm telling everybody to pound the over. So I really think it's going to have to be, I can't even use a Harry Potter Quidditch reference. But it's literally going to be like, I think 49ers are going to score 28 points, and I still think the Lions can win. I literally think it's going to be.
I do too.
Like, Goff's going to need like 450 yards, or Monty and Gibbs are going to have to get 250 on the ground.
Yeah.
But I think there's a world. I think it's going to be a shootout. That's me.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a 10-3 snoozer, bud.
Yeah. No, I think my prediction was, I think I said, I don't remember who I told. I think I said 34-31 Lions.
That's a good number.
Yeah.
That just feels right?
Yeah. 34-31 Lions. I think it's just going to be It's going to be just a beat off.
It's not gonna be. That sounds like something I would say. It's gonna be a beat off.
Dear diary.
My God, that is a Dear Diary moment.
Yeah, I honestly think the two teams are just going to absolutely beat the shit out of each other. Like, I think that's like what I mean is I think this is just going to be a punch in the mouth, which like both teams are built for, and I think that's why both teams are here, right? San Francisco is going to run the ball down your throat, and so is Detroit. So like, it's going to be like a heavyweight fight, man.
You guys are wearing all white. You guys should have. I wish they would have let you wear blue. That would have been an aesthetic matchup.
Yeah, I think this will still be a good aesthetic matchup.
I think it's good.
Yeah, but yeah, I think if we can limit the big plays from McCaffrey, from Debo, from Ayuk, from Kittle, like that's what kind of similar offenses, right? We're gonna punch in the mouth for 2 plays, and when it's 3rd and 1, we're going to pretend like we're going to hand it off, and then we're going to fucking bomb it.
Yep.
And San Francisco does the same shit.
I mean, you got to leave it all on the fucking field now.
Yeah. So
here's a hot prop bet. Aiden Hutchinson, interception.
You think so? Okay.
I can already see it. I can already see it where they rush Purdy and it gets like tipped. I'm not even saying like he jumps it. I'm saying it gets tipped and then he's the guy.
All right, dude.
He's done that a few. Right. He's good.
He is.
So who's winning the Super Bowl? Like, just go.
The Detroit Lions.
Really?
Gotta take it, dude.
You got it, the mini helmet.
We're just playing good ball, dude. You know, we got blasted by Baltimore earlier in the year. I think we're a different team. It's the same thing as like what we talk about the Packers, right? Packers were bad at the beginning of the year. At the end of the year, they were hot as could be. I think we're hot right now. I think our confidence is one big thing. Like, hey, Dan Campbell keeps saying like, hey, this is what we're here for.
Yep.
Like, this is part of the goal. This is part of the journey. It's a journey, dude. I have to say the Lions.
So check this out, okay? You acquire a super specific magical genie. It's mostly football related.
Nice,
right?
Dude. Cool.
He pops out. He's like, I like your jersey.
Yeah.
First wish is on the house, right?
Yeah.
Lions are going to beat the 49ers and go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like, but I can't control. Outside of that, I can't bet on the Super Bowl. Right?
Yeah.
He's like, but now you get to decide who goes to the Super Bowl against the Lions.
Yeah.
Who are you picking?
I mean,
are you going against the Ravens that beat your ass, or are you going against Mahomes that beat my ass?
Yeah. Well, my second wish would be that the Eagles will never make the Super Bowl ever. That's
so
the third wish.
Off the cuff toxic. Why would you ever say that?
I'm thinking about wishes that I would have.
So you can send Ravens or Chiefs to the Super Bowl to face your Detroit Lions.
I mean, in a matchup of like us winning, I'd want to play the Chiefs. I mean, I feel like the inferior team compared to the Ravens. It would be. I mean, we've already beat. I'm scared that we're going to play the Chiefs, and then the Chiefs are going to beat us in like a revenge game. But I think that's like kind of what Baltimore maybe feels.
That's
like.
A good storyline because that was the first game of the season.
It's never happened before.
Script writers feasting.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Third wish would be for more wishes.
Of course.
Obviously.
So boom, there you go. Lions beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Scriptwriters feasting. I'm just very excited. I'm excited to be.
Yeah, dude.
We got 3 games left, man.
Yeah, I'm sweating already. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
Where are you watching the game?
I don't know yet.
Are you just not going to be like at home?
I'm gonna watch it in my truck in your driveway.
Okay, sweet.
On my phone.
I'll run you beers. I'll run you wings and pizza. Let's go.
No, I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
We'll be back Monday, Tuesdays.
It'll be a happy pod or a sad pod, then.
Oh my God, yeah.
We'll find out.
This is still a win.
Yeah. I think no matter what, like, I mean, obviously I'd like to win the Super Bowl, but I feel like we've lifted the curse. Thank you.
It's
Jeff
almost
Daniels and Peyton Manning.
It's almost more like, I don't know, like I can't put into words, but like the feeling I get right now, like it's almost more exciting than like, so like let's say the Lions win.
Yeah.
I'm almost more excited like more hype this week as opposed to as next week. I don't know, it's, like look aheadness, but it's like dude, like the Lions could go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like that's super exciting for some reason.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes people downplay losing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like dude, you still fucking made it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
I'm scared that we're the Cincinnati Bengals from 2 or 3 years ago against Matt Stafford.
stop. Is that what you're scared about?
Yeah, we're like the Cinderella story. And we're gonna make it to the Super Bowl, and then I'm gonna be heartbroken when we lose.
Like the Philadelphia Eagles against the Chiefs last year.
Yeah, well, sorry.
Fuck Mahomes. I shouldn't have said that.
Jesus Christ, that's how you're gonna end it, dude?
Play us off.
All right, dude. Jared Goff.
Oh my god.
Jared Goff. Jared Goff. Play the music, man.